A few months before the Olympics, and one of Rio's drug gangs is patrolling its territory. They're allied to the CV, that's short for Comando Vermelho, or Red Command. It's the city's biggest criminal organization.
I didn't choose this life. It's what I have and what I depend on. There's no work. You can't help your family or raise your children. We need this. We can't find the most basic job. What can we do? We have to live this life. It's the work I've found to get by. You understand?
For the drug gangs, the Olympics are barely on the radar. They say it's going to be business as usual.
It's not going to stop. They work their patch and we work ours. They don't touch us, we don't touch them. Anyway, they never help us. When they come here, it's to kill us and destroy other people's families.
Young people living in the slums say the drug trade is their only option. But the authorities trying to revamp the city's image are determined to stamp it out. With the countdown to the Olympics underway, security is being beefed up across the city. The police and military have been gradually taking control of areas once dominated by armed gangs.
We're military police, so we have to have our fingers on the trigger. We can't carry on as if we're in a beautiful place. Here it seems calm, but we have to be vigilant and ready for anything.
Since 2008, 10,000 police officers have been trained to patrol Rio's favelas. Among them, 26-year-old Deborah.
There's resistance here like there is in other favelas. It's a daily struggle. I hope the day comes when there's no more violence like this, or drug trafficking. That's our dream for the future.
But it's not just about security. It's also about winning hearts and minds, starting with the slum's youngest residents. Tiago is taking a break from patrols to give a class in martial arts. Many in his group are already dreaming of competing at the highest level.
I just want to show a different perspective on the police. I want them to believe in the police, to believe in life. It's a daily job to put them on the right path, through sport, through education, through respect. If they really want it, it will steer them away from a life of crime.
These champions in the making will be watching when the world's leading athletes gather at Rio's Olympic Park. Construction workers are racing to get it ready on time, under the watchful eye of their supervisor. In 2 years, Glauco Campos has seen the site go from a mere racing track to something approaching a world-class sporting venue.
Energy infrastructure, water supplies, all of it was installed for the Olympic Games. Of course, it will leave a legacy for the city afterwards. But the main reason is the Games.
The city authorities are anxious to keep the work on schedule and the budget under control. Here, the tennis courts are almost ready. All that's missing are the stands.
This court can hold 13,000 spectators. The other one behind can hold 5,000. Some of the terraces will go up next. Just before the Games, we'll put up the rest.
With deadlines finally looming, Campos is trying to keep up the pressure on contractors to stay on schedule.
Please do me a favor and confirm what day it's going to start. Preferably, it should be this week.
And every detail counts.
It's important to have the same space between the seats.
1.7 billion euros are being invested in the venues. The Olympic Committee has also created 90,000 jobs directly related to the Games. Workers have come from across the country. Before coming to Rio, João was struggling to find work in his home city of Natal in northeast Brazil. Here, he's leading a team of 20 people.
We have a lot of things to do, but because we still have some time in this zone, we'll finish before the deadline. I was really glad when I was asked to be part of the team. Professionally, I feel good. It's great to be part of a large team working on this big project.
But in Rio, not everyone has access to sporting facilities. Here in the northern favela of Mandela, youngsters rely on their imagination to give life to discarded furniture and a few scraps of wood. Much the same can be said for the local swimming pool. Antonio Carlos Costa leads an activist group campaigning for social equality and better security for Rio's most deprived communities.
This Rio de Janeiro is a completely different Rio to the one that will be shown during the Olympic Games. This is the real Rio. Historically, the city has been marked by deep social inequalities. There is a very wide gap between rich and poor, and its origin can be found in the problems we're facing today in terms of public security.
While it calls for more security, the group is also trying to lend a helping hand. Once a month, volunteers fan out across the favelas to distribute food to those most in need.
Unfortunately, our country doesn't have a culture of taking care of the poorest, of those most in need, and those who find themselves excluded, deprived, and vulnerable. The government doesn't do much, so all this really depends on public initiatives.
Brazil, in effect, is one of the most unequal societies in the world. In Rio, a fifth of the population live in the city's 1,000 slums. Here in Mandela, Costa is a familiar face to many residents for whom violence is a part of their daily lives.
You mean this place was the scene of many executions?
We've seen everything here. It was a church, a cemetery. It was Iraq. We've seen everything here.
Just a few kilometers away, Lagoa is one of Rio's affluent southern suburbs and an Olympic venue. It was also the scene of one of the most publicized murders in recent months. In May, Dr. Jaime Gold was stabbed by a 16-year-old who was trying to steal his bicycle. He later died of his wounds. This year alone, more than 4,000 deaths have been blamed on the lack of security. At the scene of the killing, Costa explains the city's growing number of murders in recent years.
We're one of the most unequal nations in the world, and this is our problem. An unequal society with rich and poor living very close to each other in a context of consumer culture, drug war, and a weak state, a state without properly functioning institutions.
But Rio's mayor, Eduardo Paes, is not a man to be deterred. He sees the Games as a golden opportunity to change the city for the better.
If the Olympics can change a place, it's reality. Why do it in Chicago, Madrid, Tokyo? Come to Rio. Come here. Because we've got so many problems, and the Games can inspire the necessary changes for the city. If the Games are about overcoming obstacles, beating records, winning medals, and confronting challenges, Rio de Janeiro is suited to holding the Olympics.
It's not yet clear what social impact the Games will have on Rio, but their physical effect on the city is already undeniable. Urban renewal projects are transforming parts of the commercial centre under the eagle eye of the head of Rio's Architects Association. This square has been renovated as part of a project to transform the abandoned port area.
There was a big elevated railway that used to dominate the space here. It was the ring road.
The The highway is gone and is being replaced with green public spaces. In all, 24 infrastructure projects worth nearly €10 million are underway. They include a tram line, metro stations and a museum. But even after several years of construction, there's still a lot of work to do.
We need to take control of the city so there's no more inequality, to reduce the gap between rich and poor.
A division that's plain to see next to some of Rio's wealthiest neighborhoods. Joao, meanwhile, has finished his day's work at the Olympic Park and is at home with his wife. He lives far from the city's prestige building projects.
Não foi uma escolha, mas uma necessidade devido ao trabalho que aqui a gente encontra.
I came here for the work, not out of choice. Here, things are easier.
Tanto o trabalho como
whether it's work or this house, which we built.
Aqui nesse longo desses anos.
There may be more work in Rio, but this first-time father has no illusions.
The situation needs to change so there's more culture, more education and social projects. There are a lot of things we need for a better life. We're missing out on a lot.
Falta muito.
Joao worries about the future. Once the excitement over the Olympics fades, Brazil will have to come to terms with long-term economic pain. But Rio de Janeiro is changing, and Pedro da Luz believes the outlook for the city is positive.
A perspectiva para todo mundo fica pouco mais difícil, porque nós temos
The feeling is that everyone should be tightening their belts.
Todas as obras.
We have less than a year to finish everything, while the state has less and less to spend.
Nós temos aí problema, né? Mas,
that's a problem.
Eu sou otimista. Eu acho que
but I'm hopeful that it will be resolved. Everything will be ready for a great Olympics.
Vai fazer uma grande Olimpíada no final.
Few doubt Rio's ability to put on a memorable and safe Olympics. It's what comes next that is causing concern. What chances of better security for all? So Antonio and his team of activists are stepping up their campaign for peace in this troubled city.